focus is missing. So that kind of disruptions can happen.
Only focusing on grades and examinations, because you can see now the students, they are especially like private universities. From your perspective, because we are into academics, so what is currently the biggest challenge in higher education today?
AI, everyone uses AI, I use AI, and we all should embrace AI. That's my feel of it. If you do not know how to prompt the AI by thinking, then you're going to get improper things out there.
I could still be distracted. I could say, oh, this speaker's boring, and I go and do something privately. Like
That is important. Hi to all. Welcome to Tea Before Research. I'm your host, Dr. Princy Randhawa. This is Tea Before Research, Think, Explore and Ask Questions. So in my previous series, we talked about AI, innovation, even about academics also. Today we'll do something different. We'll talk about something different. Honestly, we always talk about this research, innovation and all, but this research, innovation or maybe anything can't do in isolation. We need collaboration. We need global partnership. So that is why today's talk is all about our international thing, international collaboration and all. So to have this conversation with us, we have Dr. Jamal Zaidi, the Deputy Vice-Chancellor of International and Collaboration Spectrum International University College, Malaysia. So welcome to have you with us here, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome to Tea Before Research. So before beginning about this international collaboration thing, about this global thing, future opportunities, I just want to start with this serious discussions. Your tea or coffee during important meetings? What do you prefer?
It's a tea before
So it's tea, so
research,
you will-
but I will choose coffee because
Okay.
because you asked about university meetings. So university meetings,
Usually what you have?
coffee.
Coffee, you like coffee?
Because it gives you the energy and the concentration, so coffee.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So, like nowadays, sir, everyone wants to be a global. Every university wants to have this collaboration thing and all. They like to come into QS ranking. They need this collaboration. So, what do you think? What is the most important thing to have this international thing in the university to become a global? What is the most important thing for you? To have this global, you can say global visibility for the university.
You see, there are many, but because a lot of universities say that they are really global. But what really, makes a university global for me is number one is, of course, having various different partnerships, diverse partnerships. A lot of people just have MOUs on those generic terms, where you have, you do student exchange, staff exchange, and joint research and all that. But, they don't really mean anything until you go in depth of it, So, like for Spectrum, I can talk about my university. When we say student exchange, we've been doing student exchange for a couple of years now. And we don't do student exchange full time, but we do student exchange via ODL, right? Via distance learning. Now that reduces the cost needed for the students to come. If not, students need to travel all the way to Malaysia, that's going to incur flight cost, accommodation cost. What we do is we tell them, look, you do it online. So you still get the international exposure, right? Because you are being taught by a foreign faculty member.
Don't you think if we have everything online, we don't get that much exposure?
Not everything, but you need to start somewhere. You need to start somewhere. Of course, physical is better, but in the current economic challenges times that we have, do we just say, okay, wait until we can do it, or do we do it now and do it online first? And then once, things get better. So I think number one is diverse partnerships. It's important. Number two is to become really global. For a university to be really global, they should incorporate international curriculum into their own syllabus. So for example, when we are developing a new program, right? I'm developing, let's say, a Bachelor of Computer Science, right? So while the subjects can be preset Malaysian subjects, but we should also get an international faculty member from a university, say from India, from anywhere, to give their inputs as well. And only then do you consider yourself that your curriculum is a global curriculum, not just based on the Malaysian market, for example. That is number two. And the third and most important thing is for you to be really global, you need to do joint research. But when you say joint research, comes in many different forms. What we at Spectrum believe in is that really in the steps, so you select a suitable area and then you connect the two faculties from different universities, and then you come up with a problem statement, and then you come up with a title, and then from then on you start your
So what
your
about
research.
this faculty exchange and student exchange?
Yeah, student exchange I mentioned just now. Faculty exchange, yes.
Okay.
Also at the moment, because every country have their own teaching methodologies, have their own pedagogy. So it's important that different universities, collaborate. Can it be online, can be face-to-face, doesn't really matter. But yes, that's something that we also do, and it's very important to be known as a global university.
Yeah, not just academy. It's very important to have that internationalization and all collaboration is important. So, sir, what are the biggest challenges university facing while building this partnership, according to you?
Yeah. So in my experience, the two biggest challenges that I face when I try to collaborate with different universities is number one is expectation. Every university have their own expectation. If it's a joint research, our targets may be different. We may be targeting for the so-and-so paper to be ready by this time, whereas the other university might take it slow. So that's where finding the right balance is a challenge. And second most difficult thing is the regulations of the country. So for example, Malaysia accepts ODL, widely recognized. Distance learning is a recognized method of learning. But if I tie up with a university from China, China does not recognize distance learning. It's considered as an unaccredited program. So that's another challenge that we have to look at, is the regulations of individual countries, whether they recognize each other's learning or not. So these are the two challenges that I feel, but can be overcome by ensuring that the partnership that you have has got different items. So with China, we may not be able to work on distance learning, but we can work on joint research, because every university does research. So things like that, But these are the two challenges that I feel.
Yeah, correct. You're right. Sir, nowadays we can see many students, they want this international exposure. Even universities also, they are doing some student exchange, and they are doing credit exchange 2:1 program.
Yeah.
They are sending their students to the international universities. So, but there are few universities, they don't know from where they have to begin this journey, or from how they can start with this. So what practical, if student wants to have that exposure, what step they can take actually, taking today to build this global opportunity? How can they start?
So what I always tell all the students when I go to different countries is that
I'm not talking about from the institution wise, from the student.
From the student's point of view,
Yeah,
exactly.
student.
So I always tell students, focus on the low-hanging fruits. Focus on the things that can be done easily, that has minimal risk, right? So what I usually tell all the students is, first of all, if you want to have international exposure, get yourself enrolled in short mobility programs online, right? Or in Malaysia, and my university, we run something called micro-credentials. Micro-credentials are short courses that are taught by international lecturers. So say someone from India, for an example, he wants to get international exposure, but he doesn't know where to start, right? Now for him to jump straight into another university foreign is going to cost a lot of money, it's a long process, right? So for him to get the flavor first of international education, jump into short courses or micro-credentials first, which cost very little. The risk is very little, and they're of a short duration, 3 months, 6 months sometimes, maybe 2 months even. Different programs have different durations, of course. Once you get the flavor of it, only then you feel to have, okay, now I've got the confidence that, okay, now I'm willing to go into a different country to pursue a master's, pursue a PhD, pursue a bachelor's, But before you go into that, I always feel that it's always better if they can jump into short online programs first. So that's my best advice to all the students out there. If you want to go international, start small, and start online, because online has minimal risk.
Yeah, it has no risk. Okay, so maybe students must be will listen about this.
Right.
So about the steps and all. So according to you, sir, what skills do universities and industries globally expect from students today beyond this academic qualification?
If you're talking about industry, I think number one is all of them must have digital fluency. Those days of taking a pen and writing is gone. Everyone needs to be digitally enhanced. So that's the most important skill, I feel. Second is adaptability, because in today's AI, a lot of jobs are being taken over by AI. So someone needs to be really, really adaptable to the surrounding, adaptable to the workplace. You may be joining in as customer service, but a few months down the road, if they want you to adapt to a different role, you must be able to do it. You know, a lot of people are not adaptable and they are straight-minded and they say, no, I'm just going to do this. That is not what the industry is looking at for at the moment. So these are the two skills that I feel. Of course, critical thinking. You know, AI, everyone uses AI. I use AI, and we all should embrace AI. That's my feel of it. But if you do not know how to prompt the AI by thinking, then you're going to get improper things out there. I've had examples where I've read an email and I can read the email is AI because it does not reply, does not really answer to my question properly. And number two, sometimes they forget even to take out the this is written by AI at the end of the thing. You know what I mean? So, and AI is good, you can use it, but you only can use it for idea generation, you know? So this is the things that, you know, it's important, I think. Three skills: digital fluency, adaptability, critical thinking.
Okay, but what about like the research when we are using this ChatGPT in research? What is your opinion in that? Like people are doing this, like writing papers using this ChatGPT.
I think most of the journals are now very smart, and they can really capture you. I mean, I know people generate with AI and then use different software to humanize it, but you can only get so far. You know, most of the publishers now and a lot of the reviewers are really checking into this. So yeah, I think AI should be used in research, but for idea generation, yes, you know, not for writing papers, you know.
Then now there are many tools are there.
Yeah.
For literature review, for research.
Some tools are good, some tools are fair, use them, you know, because sometimes literature review can take, back then it'll take months and months and years. Now you can do it faster because it's easy for you to find. So those tools are fine, I think, but you know, just some of them use it completely to draft a paper out of it, then that's not, you know, that's not ethical.
Yeah. So like we were talking about the research and all. So apart from that, if we talk about the funding and all, you see like we have like many funding opportunities, like European fundings we have. So according to you, what strategies actually work when it comes to securing international funding and all? So how we can have those, grab those opportunities?
Yeah, you see the problem, the best strategy that I tell my academic staff is to collaborate, right? Because international funding now are really looking at collaborative institutions writing a paper or coming up with a project, because what international funding is looking at, most of them that I'm aware of, they're not looking at just a single university data or a single country's data. They want to see if you're writing a paper on so and so, they want to get data from Malaysia, from India, from China, from US, from UK. Only then, you know, you really get the global picture. Me being a DVC internationalization, I always tell my staff to go international and collaborate. So I feel the best strategy for you to obtain a funding and to ensure the funding gets approved is to work with universities, work with partners. If you're just going to think of an idea yourself and don't collaborate, high chances you're not going to get it, you know, because your data is not there, you know, and research is data. You know, so
alone we can't.
No, you can't. You can't. Unfortunately.
Correct. So that only makes you global, which you started.
Exactly.
Like, that is the most important thing.
Agreed.
Okay, so great work, Dr. Jamal. Now we'll move on to our second round, rapid fire. So, but that answer must be faster than your international emails.
Okay, this will be fast. Fine.
Okay, so it's one word or like you have to choose one?
Okay.
AI or human creativity? No time to think.
Okay, human creativity.
Okay, collaboration or competition?
Collaboration, mass collaboration.
Yeah. Smart work or hard work?
Smart work. Smart work. I think we should work smartly. Like
then
I said,
that is why people are using the AI.
So use it. Use AI, but use it smartly and use it properly.
Okay.
In today, if someone tells me they're going to write a paper and they're going to collect 10, 20 dissertations and read it for literature review, no, that's not the way to do it now, you know.
Yeah.
That is hard work. Then you will never write a paper, you know. So
and it will take like months.
Ages.
Yeah. Okay, so physical conferences or virtual conferences?
Hybrid. No, because everyone should get the opportunity, you know. I mean, those who can come, those who can't come, they can do it online. So, sorry, none of your answer. Hybrid.
So, LinkedIn or email networking?
Email, more structured. Email.
Okay.
I don't have a LinkedIn account, so email.
LinkedIn or Instagram?
Instagram. Instagram.
Publication or industry impact?
As a university, publication, as an individual, industry impact.
Okay. But as an academician, for
Output, yeah, which makes meaning, you know, so industry impact.
okay, one skill student must learn immediately.
How to use AI properly.
What about this critical thinking?
How to use AI properly. I mean, critical thinking is, if you can think well, then you can use AI properly. So.
Yeah, correct. Okay, so biggest mistake young professionals make today?
Wait for opportunity to come to them, rather than going out and finding for an opportunity.
But nowadays, they fear of this failure thing, fear of rejection.
Yeah, but if you don't try, then you don't know, you know. So if you just sit and wait for an opportunity to come to you, yeah, you.
So you have to take risk.
You have to take risk.
Yeah.
You have to take risk. You have to take gambles.
Yeah.
Calculated risk, you know. So it can be in studying opportunity, it can be in a work. And once you finish, they all usually just wait and wait and wait. I tell them, go and take the risk, take the gamble, try and see how it goes. If it doesn't go, it's not the end of the world. Yes, you're right. This generation now has got very low temperament. They have got, you know, issues with rejection, like you mentioned just now.
Yeah.
But I think there are ways that you can overcome it, you know, and it's only by trying. If you don't try.
Especially these Gen Z people, they can't take these failures
Exactly.
and all rejections. For
Exactly.
millennials, it was okay.
You're still
We were
okay.
like, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, I don't know what will happen in Gen Alpha.
Oh, we don't
students.
know. Oh, we don't know.
Okay, so future university in one word.
Borderless.
Okay.
Borderless. You can study from anywhere, anytime, you know, via online, via whatever. So, yeah, borderless, no borders.
Okay. So one leadership quality every student needs now, today.
Patience.
Yeah, that is.
Patience.
Yeah,
I would
that
say
is
patience, because sometimes, especially engineering students, sometimes, you know, our generation had patience. I feel the new generation lacks patience. You know, which links up to the just now, the failure and all that. So, I feel if they are patient, I think they can achieve wonders, because we back then didn't have access to all the technologies that they have today. So if they use the technology well today with patience, I think they all will be well rewarded.
Yeah, correct. Okay, now we'll move on to our fun question.
Sure.
So, if university collaborations were like marriages, what do you think is the most important for long-time success?
Two things.
Okay.
Number one is trust.
Okay.
In marriage, you have trust.
Yeah.
So when you work with universities, you have to put and trust each other. You know, when you're writing a paper or when you're doing student exchange, I mean, if I take a student from your university, you have to trust me.
Yeah, correct.
You know, if you don't trust me, how can you give my student the same, vice versa? So trust is very important.
But then again, there is a problem, lot of expectations.
Yeah, so in marriages, if you
Same,
have trust,
same.
yeah, true, but there must be a balance. So we need to lower the expectation, but have a trust. Second is long-term commitment. So a lot of MOUs and a lot of partners, universities that we sign with, we ensure that commitment is long, because whatever project we do, it's not going to be a short-term project, you know, and for the betterment of the students, betterment of the university, it should be a long-term. Similar relationship, we all want long-term relationships. So, yeah.
Okay, that was a difficult one, I think, not
it
the
was.
fun question.
It was difficult.
Okay, so now before we wrap up,
Yeah.
so one last question.
Yep.
So what is your one-time advice for students and researchers who dream of building an international career?
Start somewhere. With what I say, start somewhere. You know, if you just wait and think and just wait for an opportunity to come to you, I think it's not going to happen. So start somewhere, take a risk, and if you want international recognition, you want international collaboration, you want to be involved internationally, you want to find a job overseas, start with things which are small, like conference, like the conference we just had. Start with a conference, join international conferences, because there you will build connections and you'll have I focus on collaboration, so there you will have collaborations, you know. So
That is,
if you don't
that
do
is
that,
the first thing we should do. Actually,
exactly, because a lot of them out there, they're not thinking international because they're just waiting and waiting and waiting. So take small steps which don't cost much money actually, if you think about it. And even if it does for some people, it's a worthy investment, you know, because only when you connect with people outside, you put yourself out there, you are recognized. You know, people recognize you, and that's when you'll start to climb up the ladder. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Jamal,
Thank you.
for sharing your valuable thoughts
Thank you
with
so
us
much.
today. It was great having you here in my
Thank
podcast.
Thank you, Dr. Prince.
Thank you so much. So at the end, I just want to say these opportunities, these nowadays are no longer limited to this geography. It's like you can learn globally, you can connect with people, you can research globally, and you can collaborate. So that's all I want to say in today's podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you.